Okay, so I have been thinking long and hard about how I wanted to approach this video. So I've been using the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra right here for 1 month. Actually, today is exactly 1 month since I have unboxed this device right here. And since it's been released, there has just been a lot of talk saying that it's not really worth the upgrade, especially when you compare it to the Galaxy S24 Ultra, because the upgrade is just minor when you compare it to that device, which for the most part is probably true, but you know what? Not everybody's coming from a Galaxy S24 Ultra. A lot of people are actually upgrading from older devices, so we got to keep those people in mind as well. So I thought about it, and for this video, I don't really want to compare it to the Galaxy S24 Ultra throughout the whole entire video. I want to just simply share what my experience has been like over the past 30 days with this device right here, and also just talk about the phone as a whole, just how it stands by itself. So let me start off by saying that the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra right here is actually a really, really great phone. Me personally, I have actually been enjoying my experience with this device so far. Now let me get something out of the way here. As we all know, we don't have to talk about it too much in this video, but we all know already about what happened with the S Pen. Yes, Samsung, for whatever reason, actually they gave the reason, but they got rid of the Bluetooth capabilities when it comes to the S Pen right here. So we no longer have those Bluetooth features now here on the Galaxy S25 Ultra. Now, a lot of people might not care. Me personally, I actually was one of those people who did use those Bluetooth S Pen features. Now that they've gotten rid of it, honestly, for me, yes, I was bummed out. I am still bummed out. But is it a deal breaker? For a lot of people, no, it is not going to be a deal breaker when purchasing this device right here, because we still get all of the other great S Pen features that come with the S Pen. We just aren't going to have those Bluetooth capabilities anymore. So there, we got that out of the way. Now, one thing that really caught my attention when using this device right here that I want to start off with here is performance. I mean, performance has been great on this device. And I'm not just talking about scrolling, through the app drawer, scrolling from home screen to home screen and going in and out of apps, because yes, it is smooth. We got a 120 hertz display running that Snapdragon 8 Elite processor, which just has this thing running like a boss. So, I mean, we're getting smooth performance when just scrolling through the device itself. But when it comes to actually doing things on this device right here, whether it's 4K video editing, like myself, I edit a lot of 4K video here on this device right here. When it comes to using multiple apps at a time, I'm going, from social media app to social media app to, to my emails, to messages, I'm doing all these things at, not at once, but, I'm going from one app to another, and it's able to handle all of that without any problems, no hiccups, no lagging or anything like that. And yes, I do still have times where I am actually multitasking on this device where, you can have multiple apps open at the same time, whether you want a floating window or, one app above another. It handles all of that perfectly fine. And then when it comes to gaming, I even made a video just straight gaming on this device right here, and it handled all of that gaming perfectly. But aside from that video, even on other days when, playing multiple games at a time to continue testing it out, it still performs like a boss. I don't have any problems with this lagging or slowing down on me when it comes to playing games on this phone. And I'm talking about games like, Call of Duty Warzone, Call of Duty Mobile. We got, Fortnite, we got, Asphalt Legends, just a bunch of games, even Genshin Impact. And it handles all of those games fine. And when it comes to heating up, yes, it does get a bit warm, but it's not anything crazy to where it makes it feel uncomfortable to hold this phone while playing games. It's just a little bit of warmth, but definitely no overheating going on. So when it comes to just overall performance with this device, I mean, it is taking everything that I throw at it and just handling it perfectly. I don't have any problems when it comes to performance. And then of course, with the device that performs this good, you want it to last you all day, because how are you going to throw all this stuff at a device and it's not going to last you all day? You don't want to have to worry about throwing it on the charger midday. So when it comes to battery life, I actually did an all-day battery drain test with this phone right here. And I will say, it's not the best battery life that I've ever experienced in a phone, but it does last me all day. I don't have to worry about throwing this on the charger not once throughout my day, from the moment I get up in the morning to the time I am going to bed at night. It lasts me all day. I'm averaging maybe around 7 hours of screen on time on a regular day, sometimes 8 hours of screen on time, sometimes 6 hours of screen on time, 6.5. I mean, it really depends how I'm using my device that day. Of course, I have days where, I'm working the majority of my day and I'm not constantly using my phone. So it will last, a bit longer than when I am using my phone the majority of the day. But of course, usage is different for everyone. Not everyone uses their phone the same. Your usage is different than mine. You might get way better battery life than me. You might get way worse battery life than me. I mean, it's really up to the user and how they use their device. But for me personally, I mean, I'm getting through an entire day with this phone right here, really no matter how I use it. So battery life is great. Charging speeds, I really wish they would increase the charging speeds on this device right here, because I got so spoiled when I started using the OnePlus 13 and the 80-watt fast charging speeds that we get with that device, that it just charges so fast. And I really don't get that with the Galaxy S25 Ultra. Yes, it's pretty fast. I mean, it's not super slow, but it's not super fast either. But I can't really do what I did with the OnePlus 13, where I'm able to just get up in the morning, throw it on the charger, and it's fully charged up by the time, you know, I'm ready to leave the house. You know, sometimes I wake up late and this phone just does not charge fast enough to be able to do that. So sometimes I do have to charge overnight. So I wish charging speeds were just a bit faster here on the Galaxy S25 Ultra. So hopefully next year, Samsung will, you know, boost up the speeds when it comes to just the overall charging on this device, both wired and wirelessly as well. Now, I do have one small annoyance, not even really a small annoyance. It's pretty annoying sometimes, but it only happens in Twitter. And I noticed it only happens with this device right here. It did even happen with last year's S24 Ultra, which I think I even forgot to mention in the video when I reviewed that device. But it's when I'm using Twitter and I'm trying to use voice to text, if I'm, you know, happen to be messaging someone. If I try using voice to text for whatever reason in that app, it just doesn't work. It'll show up real quick and then disappear. It'll show up and disappear no matter how many times I try to use that. And it does not happen in other devices that I have. Voice to text in other devices works perfectly in that app. So I don't know what it is with Galaxy devices to where the voice to text, it just is not working with Twitter. I don't know if it's just me, if it happens to you guys, if you do have a Twitter account and you try using voice to text, let me know down in the comments below, because I am someone who personally uses voice to text a lot. Sometimes it's just way more convenient for me. I don't like sitting there texting the whole time, or even, you know, using swipe to text. It's easy to just press the button, boom, say what I got to say, and boom, send the message. I'm good to go. So that is one small annoying, or like I said, it's actually very annoying, but voice to text actually works with everything else on this device. It just so happens to be with that app. I really do not know why, but I will say that Samsung, they actually did make something better when it comes to voice to text, because last year I did complain that they moved that little microphone for voice to text from the right side of the device, which was, you know, easily accessible. They moved it down to the bottom left, which, you know, it's hard. You know, it's not the easiest using this device with one hand. You know, I don't have the biggest hand, so I can't reach all the way down to that bottom left corner. So I got to bring in the other hand to, you know, press the little voice to text down there now to use it. You know, and I did complain about that last year, because, you know, they brought in, that's when, you know, they brought in the whole Galaxy AI, and then they put those little, you know, the Galaxy AI feature button right there, you know, up on that top bar, and, you know, move the voice to text button down to the bottom. I did complain about that, but this year, now all we got to do is just press and hold the power button, and it brings up voice to text for us. You know, that button is also used to bring up the Galaxy AI, so you can be able to talk to it and talk to the assistant when you are not in the keyboard. But when you are in the keyboard ready to type something and you press and hold that power button, it will bring up the voice to text for you, so you don't have to worry about going down and pressing that little microphone icon. And it just makes it so much more convenient. So thank you, Samsung, for allowing us to do that now, rather than having to, you know, go down to the bottom left and press that little icon. So I'm actually very happy about that. And I know it's nothing major, but for me personally, someone who uses voice to text a lot, I'm grateful. Now, when it comes to the overall design of the device, I mean, there's no doubt about it. This is a beautiful looking device. Definitely one of the most premium devices that I have ever held in my hand. Feels really good in the hand. Me personally, I don't think it feels heavy. It's not too thick either. It's nice and slim, nice and lightweight. Feels so premium in the hand. I mean, you got those matte edges all the way around as well. I'm glad they stuck with the matte edges and didn't go glossy, because it doesn't pick up too many fingerprints. Unless your hands are super oily, then you will start to, you know, see some fingerprints on the back. But for me personally, I have the jet black Galaxy S25 Ultra right here. And huge thanks and shout out to Snapdragon for actually sending this out for me to keep. Actually, it was a gift from them, so huge thanks and shout out to them for that. They sent me the jet black model, which is the color that I actually wanted. And I mean, this phone is just so sexy looking, so premium looking, feels good in the hands. Of course, they gave us that flat display this year, and the display is beautiful. I mean, I say this every time when it comes to a Samsung device. They're always giving us the best displays in their device, and the same goes with the Galaxy S25 Ultra right here. And the cool thing about this display, just like last year's, we have that anti-glare display, which just makes it look so much better. And, we're not getting, tons of glare like what we would with other devices that do not have an anti-glare display. And you can use it even more comfortable outside. So not only is it a bright, colorful, vibrant display, but it's also keeping out a lot of that reflection that we would normally get without an anti-glare display. So beautiful display, and just watching content on this display as well is just super enjoyable. I mean, it looks great on this display right here. Of course, we still get that punch hole cutout up at the top, which I always say never gets in the way for me. I've gotten super used to it. And it is just a beautiful display, even when gaming. We're getting minimal bezel all the way around. And then of course we do have that in-display fingerprint sensor on this display as well, which works great. Not the fastest in-display fingerprint sensor that I've used in the device. That actually goes to the OnePlus 13. I was just amazed at how fast that in-display fingerprint sensor is. And that one is also an ultrasonic fingerprint sensor. So I don't know what OnePlus did over there, but I mean, they did a great job with that. But that's not to say that this fingerprint sensor here on the, S25 Ultra is not fast, because it is still it's still a fast, in-display fingerprint sensor, and it works 100% of the time. I never have any problems with this in-display fingerprint sensor, even with a screen protector. On this device right here, I actually have a screen protector on it, and that in-display fingerprint sensor still works 100% of the time. And I say this device right here because I actually have another Galaxy S25 Ultra, which is a loaner device from Samsung, and that device is actually recording this entire video. And for those of you who don't believe me, let me actually open up the front-facing camera here. I'm not sure if you can tell there, but look at that. I am recording on a Galaxy S25 Ultra right there. So let me know what you think about video quality. And that takes me over to the cameras. What do I think about the cameras? I honestly love the cameras here on this device right here. Of course, we got our wide angle lens, we got our main lens, we got a 3x telephoto lens and a 5x telephoto lens. And we still have the ability to zoom out, or zoom in, I should say, all the way up to 100 times. So if you're someone who loves taking pictures of the moon every single night, well, there you go. You can take your pictures of the moon with your 100 times zoom. Or if there's something super far away, I mean, you can zoom into that as well. And I don't know, I mean, in my opinion, they're not really usable pictures to, post on social media unless you're just trying to show off that your camera can zoom in 100 times. But I mean, I guess it's still a cool feature that is there, and it just gives you bragging rights that your phone can do that. But just when it comes to overall, photo quality, I'm able to get some great shots with, as you can tell here, I am showing pictures up on screen. And as you can see, I'm able to get some great shots here with the Galaxy S25 Ultra, no matter which lens I am using. But I will say, there have been times where I'm trying to get a picture of something, but it ends up focusing on what's around the subject rather than the subject itself. Like for instance, this picture right here, or these few pictures, I was trying to get a picture of this ladybug right here because I thought it would just look cool, if I get a close-up shot on this ladybug, but it kept focusing around the ladybug rather than on the ladybug itself. Even when I was trying to use tap to focus, I did not know what the heck was going on, but it was just not focusing on the ladybug. So unfortunately, I could not get the picture that I wanted. So there's little instances like that where that does happen sometimes, but for the most part, I'm still able to get some great photos on this device right here. And then when it comes to a video, like I said, you're seeing it right now. I'm actually using portrait video. So one thing that I did notice when using portrait video here at 4K 30 frames per second, that it does a pretty good job at, outlining me, blurring the background. But I think it's when I can't see myself because I am using the main cameras. But there's sometimes like if I put my hands out like this, it'll kind of start to blur like maybe the phone, or if I hold it like this, I'm not sure. But I notice if I go back and play the video, sometimes I will notice that it will kind of, make something blurry around me. But as far as portrait video goes, it's still pretty good. But when you go to recording regular video at 4K 30 frames per second or 4K 60 frames per second, I actually really like the video quality that I can get from this device right here. And it is also capable of 8K video recording as well. And I do have a separate video uploaded here on the channel for that in case you do want to check that out. I'm sure not a whole lot of people are going to record at 8K. Not really sure why someone would want to, unless you're really, planning on just cropping in to keep that detail because you recorded in 8K, but not a lot of people have 8K monitors either to be able to watch 8K content. But hey, it's still cool to say that my phone can record video at 8K. So we got that. We also got log video recording. So if you're someone who likes to color grade your videos, it even has automatic color grading on here as well. Then you got that as well. So just another cool feature here when it comes to the cameras here on the Galaxy S25 Ultra. So overall, I am definitely very happy with the cameras here on the S25 Ultra. I personally think that the front camera can use a little bit of work, a little bit of tweaking, but I mean, overall, cameras are great here on the S25 Ultra. Okay, now one thing that I forgot to mention earlier when I was talking about the display and just watching content and all of that, when you're watching content, you want it to sound good, right? Because not everybody likes using earbuds or headphones all the time. And I gotta say, the speakers on the Galaxy S25 Ultra right here actually sound really good, and they get nice and loud too. They got a nice full sound to them, but it doesn't sound muddy, because with some smartphones, if you turn it too loud, it'll kind of have like this distortion or kind of muddy sound. When it comes to the Galaxy S25 Ultra right here, we actually don't have that. It's actually a nice, clean sound. Of course, it does support Dolby Atmos as well. So we're getting nice, loud, clear sound coming from the speakers here on the Galaxy S25 Ultra, and it is a stereo speaker setup as well. So I just wanted to quickly mention that. But now has come the time where we got to talk about AI here on this Galaxy S25 Ultra, because Samsung made such a big deal when it came to AI on the Galaxy S25 Ultra right here. And of course, we got to talk about it in this video. Now, there might be some features that I don't talk about because I probably don't use those features. Like I said, this is based off of my own personal experience with this device right here. And I gotta say, some of the AI features on this device actually really come in handy. So the first one is when it comes to photo editing. I gotta say, that generative edit here when it comes to editing photos here on this device is so good, so good. The best that I've seen in any smartphone. If there is something that you got to get rid of, that you need to get rid of from your photo just to get a cleaner look, or maybe add something, I don't know. I don't know what it is you're trying to do, but this phone definitely gets it done. And I'm sure you guys have seen this all over social media, where people putting their hands, over half of their face or over their face or whatever. This phone literally gets it perfectly, deletes it from the photo and regenerates you a new photo, adding to your face, or, adding the rest of your face, I guess. It kind of because obviously it's not going to know what you look like, but it does its best to get it, and actually does. It's just crazy. It's literally a mind blowing. And I've showed a lot of people, and even them, they're like, what the heck? Like, how does it even do that? So when it comes to generative edit in photos, when it comes to, just using that AI feature here, it actually does a very good job. And then of course, we're also able to just draw something on there, and it'll try to guess what we're trying to draw, and it will add that to your photo as well. So just some fun features to use when it comes to photo editing, mixed in with AI. And then when it comes to video editing, we now have this audio eraser, which is, no, it's not the first time we've ever heard of this feature before. We've also, experienced this in the Google Pixel devices, but the audio feature on here actually works, pretty good if you want to get rid of background sounds. So for instance, if there's, there was a lot of background sounds going on right now, when I'm trying to talk to you guys, I would be able to use that audio eraser to erase those background sounds so you guys can hear me more clearly. Or maybe there's something else in the video that you want to hear more clearly. You can boost up that sound and turn down the other sounds as well to really get the sound that you want. Now, there are instances where it could make things sound a bit tinny, a bit distorted, just depending on what it is you're trying to, edit out of the sound, or edit in, or boost up. There are some instances where it won't come out exactly the way you want it, but the fact that you can still use it to save the sound in your video and just make it a little bit better than what it actually was, I mean, it's still a pretty good feature, and I can only see it getting better from here. So audio eraser, actually a very good feature when it comes to editing the sound of your video. Now, one AI feature that I love using here on this device right here is the using the assistant, because, especially when it comes to emails, I mean, I'm running a YouTube channel. I got companies emailing me all the time, and, I don't always have time to type out a full email. So what I will do is I will, press and hold that power button. It will bring up the AI assistant, and I simply say something like, hey, can you write me a reply to the email on screen telling them this, and that, basically telling just the key points that I want that company to know, or whoever it is I'm emailing. And it does it, and it does it so good. And you know, sometimes there are little parts of the email where I will fix here and there myself, but it writes me out a full professional sounding email, or if I wanted to sound more casual, it'll make it sound more casual for me. And it is just so great to use. Definitely a useful feature for me myself. And then just using the assistant, you know, just overall, it's great because if I want to pull it up and say, hey, set me a timer for this time, it'll do that. It'll set the timer for me, or set me, you know, something for this date later in the month. You know, I got this activity going on at this time. It'll input it into my calendar, and you know, it works great, and something I personally find useful for myself. You know, not everybody will probably find it useful, but for me, myself, I do find it useful. Now, of course, we got to talk about that now brief pop-up that we get on the lock screen, or you'll also see it on the home screen as well. And you know, sometimes it could be useful, sometimes it's not really useful. A lot, like right now, look at, it's really just giving me the weather, and that's pretty much it. Or on the bottom here, stay up to date with Now Brief. So it really doesn't give me a lot, but on days that I do have stuff going on and I have stuff in my calendar, I got timers and alarms or whatever, I got, you know, certain, maybe an activity going on that day, that is when I will find Now Brief to come in handy, because it will remind me of certain things I got to do that day to make sure that I don't forget, because me personally, I forget a lot. And then of course we got other features like interpreter. We got, you know, live translate, to where you're talking on the phone. If I'm talking to someone else that talks in another language, it will translate it live so they can understand me. It's not going to hear me in English, it'll hear it in that specific language, and then vice versa. So that's another cool AI feature as well. And then there's just so many other AI features in this device. You know, a lot of features that I don't even use, but can probably be useful for a lot of you watching this video. So when it comes to AI, I mean, Samsung has got it down packed, and like I said, it can only get better from here. And then there is a feature that I really honestly haven't really heard anybody talk about anymore, but that feature is Samsung DeX. Yes, Samsung DeX is still available. And for those of you, for whatever reason, who don't know what Samsung DeX is, it's a feature that allows your phone to basically act as a PC. It's gonna give you that PC experience when you hook it up to an external monitor. And honestly, it is a great feature to use. So if I wanted to hook it up to my gaming monitor right here and use it here to give me that PC-like experience, I can do that. I can, you know, wirelessly, you know, connect a keyboard via Bluetooth, a mouse. I can do all of that good stuff. So it's like a little computer in your pocket. So Samsung DeX is just another great feature, like I said, that a lot of people don't talk about anymore, but can still come in handy. You're basically taking a little computer with you wherever you decide to go. But yeah, the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra. My experience over these past 30 days, like I said, they have been great. I really don't have any major, huge complaints when it comes to this device right here. I mean, it is a great phone to use, you know, like I said, other than them taking away the Bluetooth feature when it comes to the S Pen, it is still a really great device to use. So if you do find yourself interested, if you are someone who is ready to upgrade to Samsung's newest device, I'll make sure to have a link down in the description below so you can check one out for yourself. But if you did like this video, if you did find it helpful, make sure to give it a huge thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss out on any other future videos to come. And if for whatever reason, maybe there was something that I didn't mention in this video, or maybe forgot to mention, just let me know down in the comment sections below, and I will do my best to answer your questions. Thank you all so very much for watching. This is Josh Quinones. I will see you on the next one. Peace.